Marvin?
Here.
Johnson?
Here.
All.
Here. Thank you. Could all stand, please, for a moment of silence, followed by a pledge of allegiance. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 1 is consent agenda. Approve this agenda. Pay the claims as submitted, and we have 2 special designated liquor licenses, 2 fundraiser banquets. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Simpson.
I'll second.
Urbon.
McDermott?
Yes.
Gibbon?
Yes.
Urbon?
Yes.
Marvin?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Aldridge?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 2, approve the minutes of January 15th, 2019 regular council meeting.
So moved.
Larry Marvin.
Second.
Over here in Ward 3, Randy Aldridge.
Whoever it is.
Johnson?
Yes.
Aldridge?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
McDermott?
Abstain?
Gibbon? Urbon?
Yes.
Marvin?
Yes.
It is now time for public forum. Anybody wants to bring anything for the council? Just take your turns.
All at once. Yeah, everybody at once.
I will close the public forum. Item 4, open public hearing to receive comment on the City of Hope Ridge 1 and 6-year street improvement plan. I think everybody has a copy of that. Jim?
Yeah, any questions?
Think we'll be able to do Tilden between 3rd and 4th?
Yes, I
For
talked
sure this year.
to Dave Neal at that concrete class in Lincoln, and they're still planning on trying to come in March, or the
Okay.
permitting. And I can give
I
him
know
a
we were
call.
gonna try and squeeze it in if there was time
Yep.
at the end of this other
Yeah,
project.
he's got the set of plans, and so Oak Creek Engineering did those for us, and he's got the set, so he's going to, got them, so hopefully they'll still be on schedule.
Good.
And 14th is on the
14th
6 year.
is not on the 1 and 6-year plan at this point in time, just due to, once again, we get $102,000 a year from the state. We do Tilden, that's where the money will go this year. What the length of it is, and just comparing it to 11th that we did a few years back, that was oh mercy, that was I think that was like a $3.2 million project with water main and storm sewer and lighting and curb and gutter and sidewalks and whatnot. And I'm anticipating that if we would do something like that again from West Avenue all the way to Lincoln Street, it's gonna be probably another $3.5 million project. So, until we get some money built up, it's gonna be a little bit of time. We'll have to do some maintenance on it.
Do we have to go all the way to Lincoln Street? Because part of that from Sherman Street to Lincoln, hadn't that been redone not too long ago?
Well, we redid the intersection at Lincoln Street. That's what was done, but the back of it has not. And the reason why I would include that, because if we're able to put storm sewer in, that's where the water would have to go, and then the water main, that's where we'd have to replace the water main at too. That's why I would include all the way to Lincoln Street.
Okay.
But if it come down to money aspect of it, and we couldn't go that far, we would just have to stop it and pick and choose where we need to go.
It's starting to get some
It's-
breakup in areas too.
It's
so.
starting to be really bad.
Yeah.
I have a question about that area along 14th between Lincoln and, well, Clerk to the middle school. A lot of kids are walking that sidewalk, and I had a resident in my area ask about getting like ADA curb cuts.
We try and do, in the meantime of working on the streets, we try and do 1 or 2 a year if we can, and we do try and go around the schools.
Okay,
And so it's something, I looked at that today, I think we're probably gonna go by the old parsonage at Mount Calvary and at least get that one done and maybe across the street and start working our way. So that is trying to be something to do 1 or 2 a year.
okay. So from there, maybe work your way east?
Yeah.
Is that what you're suggesting? Okay.
Yeah.
How much does that cost each time we,
I don't know, Mary, because it all depends on if there's any dirt work that we gotta do to take it out. Depends on how far we have to go back to meet ADA standards. So it's gonna vary a little bit, not much, but.
okay. So it's a long-term plan then?
Yeah, and that's once again with the State Department of Roads, anytime you do anything with sidewalk, it's gotta all be ADA compliant, and that's with Department of Roads.
Do you know anything about, the school used to have access to a grant called Safe Routes to School. Do you know anything about that? Would we be able to get some of that money to help with that?
We tried that at one point in time.
Tried that already,
That
okay.
was a federally enhanced, through all federal money. We had it designed to possibly go from the east side of, by Sunrise View, the east side of the town, to have it go all the way to North Park and then down south. But they require, I believe, they require an 8-foot wide sidewalk.
Oh,
And so
Well, we're not doing
when we
that.
tried to incorporate it where we could, we had no place to put an 8-foot
Yeah.
wide sidewalk except maybe way up on 18th.
mhm.
And so that kind of deterred our, of sending all the kids all the way up to 18th and back around.
No one's gonna do that anyways.
Isn't that how we got part of the stoplight though, and the radar unit on 14th? Wasn't that through?
I think that was some sort of grant, but I believe that the school might have done that. I'm not for sure.
Well, I remember going up there for meetings, and I was thinking that's what that was for, but it might have been another grant.
Mr. Rager?
No, the city and the schools we had a grant like 5-6 years ago for safe routes.
And some was done,
And we
right?
put the lights in
Okay,
at the middle school, and then they did some sidewalks down, I think, Grant or somewhere, but it was a small grant. And it was we did some stuff on Lincoln Street. They wanted some lights or something, and I don't think we ever put the lights in because they changed what they were gonna do to the schools, so.
Up north.
Yeah.
I think some of it had to do with where maybe possible bus stops were gonna be,
Yeah,
or things too.
yeah, we had a grant at one time. I don't remember the amount of it, Mary, but it took forever to get it done.
a lot of
I mean,
hoops, probably.
Wasn't that kind of the same, kind of looked at like a hike bike trail system to go around the city, and same thing, you gotta have so
I
wide
think they were
to get the
looking.
ground is,
They were looking at going over to where the, Burlington, or Broadway, where the school owns, because they were thinking about putting housing there at one time, where all those Quonsets are.
but when you gotta go that wide and to
Yeah,
get
you had to go.
enough
8
ground to
foot.
get, you know, it's kinda tough.
Cause we were looking at 14th, I don't think
You can't cut into
I don't
people's
think the
yards that
property
far,
owners would
no.
have went
Yeah.
along with that.
Oh,
Okay, so
I
that pile
would.
of grant money's out there. You would like to mow less?
But emergency snow out, they can't put 8 foot of snow on there.
Clear
got a
off
lot of room
really
to mow,
fast.
you got a little room to blow. I hear you.
So it
No,
sounds,
we what?
oh, I was gonna say, so it sounds like that grant is not gonna work for us, but we'll make our way east on 14th as we're able.
I don't think they have it anymore, Mary. I think it was a one-time deal.
I think so too.
There's a discussion on developing East Street, 10 acres over there, but we don't have anything on the 1 and 6 year plan as far as taking 11th Avenue east for our tour.
Well, if that ever gets developed once again, we would want East Street paved from 11th to halfway between 9th and 10th where it stops. And we'd want 11th Avenue paved from there to probably almost the substation that goes east. They are both designated right-of-ways in there already, they've both been platted through there. But once again, if that would get developed, depending on what money's used, but I would fill out the Form 10 and submit it to the Board of Classification Standards in Lincoln.
Any other questions, concerns? I will close the public hearing. Now, item 5, adopt resolution 2019-01, approving the City of Holdridge 1 and 6-year street improvement plan.
So moved.
Aldrich, second by
Second?
Simpson.
Simpson.
Yes.
McDermott.
Yes.
Gibbon.
Yes.
Wireball.
Yes.
Marvin.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Aldrich.
Yes.
Don't go away, Kim.
No, I asked Dane to put everything together.
Item 6, consider swimming pool heater replacement or repair.
As this was discussed last August after the pool closed and after we had been inspected by the state, we had some major repair done at the auditorium heater. We had a little bit of work done at the library boiler. And this come approximately a little over $28,000 to repair it. And so I asked for the new price, and the price did not change at $42,174. They were to remove the old heater and get rid of it, and they install a new one and do all the gas or all the piping, and everything's included in that proposal that you see. It says the approximately lead time is 3.5 weeks out. If the council does approve it tonight, I will talk to them tomorrow so we can get the ball rolling, because we do try and fill the pool the 1st of May. I did talk to the utility committee tonight. I did have 2 companies come in, and I apologize, I don't remember the companies, but they're both from Kansas City. One is primarily a pool renovation company. They do new pools also, but they do a lot of renovation. And then also the pool company does, they like to, I think they would give me advice on renovations also, but I have not heard back from either one of them. Probably gonna try and get them contacted within the next 2 weeks to see what their ideas are, and then I will share that information with the council. That pool was built in '39, I believe, and we've done a lot of work to it, but a lot of the old plumbing, we're having a lot of the iron is flaking off some of the pipes. I don't foresee that it's the corroded gonna go away, but we've had to put a brand new valve in down there to empty the whole diving well. Just a lot of work needs to be done with it, and I'd like to get an idea from this renovation company to see what it's gonna cost. But this pool heater, I'm sorry, I didn't read what kind of warranty it has, but I would check with that also. But I mean, this would be a step into bettering our pool.
Any idea, Kim, excuse me,
Go ahead.
how old that pool heater is?
It's not that-
I know when I was swimming in
I
that
think
pool
it's a
in 39, I
2011.
didn't have a pool heater.
Yeah, it's not that old.
I think it's in 2011. But I'm gonna also, with the council's approval, I like to have them come in and maintain it every year. They have gotta they'll bring a vacuum in, they'll be able to, I don't know if they lift the hood off, but they get inside of it and they get it all cleaned up and whatnot, so what problems might arise with it, so.
Any idea how much that's gonna cost?
I don't know, I didn't ask for a service contract with them. I don't know what it would cost, but I think it'd be well worth our money if we can so we get some extra time out of the heater.
And if they come in, if Rasmussen comes in and does a yearly maintenance, do we still have to have a boiler inspection once a year?
Yes, the state inspector comes out every single year. And once again, he looks at the library, the auditorium, and the pool.
That's a lot of flame on, a lot of BTUs, 4 million BTUs on that. I'm taking a lot of heat. Yeah, Larry,
Well, I was just gonna say, that's, what, 8 years old now, 9 years? That's 28,000 to repair it. When you repair it, what do you still have? You still have a $28,000 heating unit? I mean, to me, it'd be more sensible to put a new one in and maintain it every year. I know it's more money, but I think, you know, you put 28 in this year, what are you gonna put into it next year?
I think it's a good long-term investment to go with the new one.
I do.
My thought is.
Ken, what's your recommendation?
I would recommend to replace it. Just that we have done when we bought the compactor at the landfill, we went with a service agreement with CAT, and we haven't seemed to have hardly any problems with it, major problems with it. We went with an agreement when we put the new generator out here, out north. We got a service agreement with CAT, and it seems to be working well for us. So.
Shouldn't they last longer than that, though?
Well, I'd agree with you,
3 months
but-
out of the year.
Yeah, I agree with
Boilers
you.
in a house will last 30, 35 years.
I think
these
These are exposed to the elements a little more. It's,
And I think the
For
ones
warms
that
up.
they set for so many months.
and you're firing it up and it gives the chance for sediment and stuff to,
And he
Build
did,
it.
Rasmussen did make that comment that it would be nice if you could somehow have this enclosed. But, you know, we're not gonna put a building over the top of it.
Well, would a shelter even help? I mean, something.
I could ask Rasmussen if they'd recommend it.
I think we should look into it because that's a lot of money for something that's not lasting any longer than that, hardly even being used.
I remember years ago working on the old one that had like a metal lawn shed that was around it, and it still was a battle keeping those running back when they had us working on them and
Yeah.
stuff. You just,
There wasn't any room to work on them, that's how
yeah,
tight
for
the
one,
shed
when
was.
it fired, you didn't have any place to run.
What usually causes them to go haywire? I mean, is it,
Oh, it's just, it's
the
like
elements
anything.
burn, did the elements burn up, or?
Well, you've just got, you're dealing with water and heat and
Chlorine.
corrosion and
Sits in there and just eats away at things.
When it runs, it
chemicals down there,
runs
so-
full bore.
Yeah. Where your boiler inside of a building, like say, it's setting inside and it's
Yeah.
not dealing with a lot of the stuff you got down there, so.
Well, it's going year-round almost.
What I'm
It's
hearing,
just-
do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
McDermott, second by Marvin.
I might check on the building just for.
I will.
I mean, while we're,
Oh, sure, it's no big
Doing
deal.
it.
while we're
Yeah,
doing it,
I
let's do it
agree.
upright, I guess.
A tin roof where a guy could take it off to get the old.
Get access to stuff.
Givens,
Yeah.
Burbine,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Aldridge,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
McDermott.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 7, approve specifications and contract documents for the mowing and lawn care of East and West Avenue Islands.
Dane was nice enough to bring this to my attention that we do this every 2 years. And so it's time to do it again. I don't believe we have any alterations or changes in it. We only had one legal bid last time, and I mean legal because I don't think correct me if I'm wrong, Dane, but I don't think Benjamin's bid it and Green Landscapes bid it, but they forgot to put his certificate of insurance and his applicator's license.
Fumigation.
And so it was awarded to Moore's, but I did talk to Benjamin's. I think Benjamin's are anxious to bid it. I haven't seen anybody else, but Dan will get these mailed out tomorrow. And how long did you put it on there, Dane? Do you remember?
February 26th for the bids to be due, and then we can see them on the 5th.
Okay.
Sounds good. Any questions? If not, motion to approve the specs for the mowing of East and West Avenue Highlands.
So moved.
Burbine,
Second.
Larry Givens.
Marvin,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Aldridge,
Yep.
Simpson,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Givens,
Yes.
Irvine.
Yes.
Moving on to item 8, approve specification contract documents for the mowing and lawn care of the well houses, wastewater
Sorry,
treatment plant, and power plant.
sorry. The only thing we added onto this is, we asked maybe some, like to have a schedule on when they mow the wastewater treatment plant. They continue to drag hoses to water out there, and they would like to just know what it is, so they get everything picked up for them. So when they plant the mow, so there was just, I believe that's all we added to this one, was just so we can get some sort of scheduling, so we can coordinate with the contractor.
That makes sense. Any question for Kim?
Move to approve.
Simpson, second by,
So, I mean, second.
Don't get too excited.
Marvin.
I'm daydreaming.
McDermott,
Yes.
Givens,
Yes.
Irvine.
Yes.
Marvin,
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yes.
Aldridge,
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Thank you.
awesome. Now, if the next one goes that quick, we'll be doing well. Approved bid for Holdridge Ballfield Complex concession building.
We had 4 bids for the building. Parent low bidder was Bierman Construction, they're out of Kearney. They were a little higher, and we thought they'd come in, but I'll explain, I think in my notes I explained the alternate was a deduct. That was for the canopies going out. We looked at it after the bids. If you did not put the canopies up, when you put the building up and you got the fields in, we couldn't get in equipment in or anything to put the canopies up. Also, another thing on that is like, with the drawings, they got a lot of trees, and with Brian, we were talking like electrical, we couldn't get in there to change lights. If the lights went out, a bulb went out, there's no way to get our trucks in, because you need, they're 80-foot, probably 80-foot poles. Our trucks won't do it, we're gonna have to hire somebody with a bigger truck. Ours go to 60-foot. And
An
to make a
extension ladder
turn,
in the bucket.
Or 2.
We're gonna assign that to you then.
There you go.
well, I guess with council approval.
Troy said he'd climb up it.
We've done that before. You're in a bucket.
Well,
Toonie, that was
You're on
Troy.
camera.
Troy Irvine.
Not recommended.
And Bierman is out of Kearney, and Wilkins, Jacob with Wilkins, he's familiar with them, he said they do good work. So I would recommend that we accept the bid of Bierman Construction
With the awnings.
with the awnings,
Yeah.
because if we don't,
I think
I
if we
mean,
don't,
we're
if we don't do the awnings now, they probably won't ever get done.
and we're looking at the awning, we're gonna have to take the trees out because of getting in there
Yeah.
for the lights. And we're gonna need, it's sitting up there, you're gonna need shade, we're gonna put picnic tables under them and stuff, and
If we're gonna do this, we need to do it right.
Look odd without it, actually.
Well, it would be hot, you gotta,
yeah,
that's
we're,
right, if you're gonna do it, just do it right.
I'm cheap, but I think we need those awnings.
yeah, I mean, we either do it now or we don't do them at all.
We're gonna have to do it now then.
You know, it's, we won't be able to get in there. Cause this area is tight, it's really tight. When we get all the fields in there, there's not gonna be a lot of room. We're gonna have problems getting, I think maybe a gator will be able to get a gator around, but that's gonna be tight too. you know. But we can get up to it because from 18th, we're gonna have that's basically a service road, like for vendors to get to the concession stand. Eventually down on 18th, we in the future put up like a storage building for the equipment. This building's gonna have a small equipment room, like for gators or mowers or something like that, but anything bigger.
Down
I
the
mean,
road
we're
would be-
just tight for space.
Down the road, it'd be nice to have like a small garage
Yeah,
for other equipment.
that's what we're looking
A
at.
big garage. They're never big enough.
When do they anticipate maybe starting on this?
Probably, I think it was, Larry, I can't remember now, maybe, was it May, March or May? Or April, May,
Any idea how long it take,
about 90 days.
90 days?
No rain.
I said,
Yeah.
you tell them it ain't gonna rain or not.
Yeah, no snow.
There's gonna be a lot going on up there next year, or this summer and fall. I mean, that place is gonna be like a beehive up there.
And they're shooting for it to be open spring next year?
Yes.
Well,
Next year.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to get the fences and all the turf in there.
That's minor.
Yeah, I think we get the building up, it's gonna be something that people, at least they can see something is being done.
Yeah, right now, I know I've had some people think that we aren't doing anything because they don't see anything going on.
Yeah.
They don't realize all the work that's already been put in with the sewers and the dirt work and, you know, all that's already been done, but you can't see that, so.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I move that we approve the bids to Behrman Carney.
$769,000. Second by Ben.
Is 769 or 100, does that include the
Yeah, that includes the
167?
Yeah,
canopies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Thank you, Ward 3.
Simpson.
Yes.
McDermott.
Yes.
Gibbon.
Yes.
Burbine.
Yes.
Marvin.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Aldridge.
Yes.
All right.
Great.
There you go.
Item 10, consider changing the city council meeting time to 5:30. Dane put together a list of a lot of towns who do the 5:30. We tried it on January 2nd. We got Alma, I think Broken Bow is 6. There's Crete 6, Hastings 5:30, Kearney's 5:30, Lexington's 5:30, Lyons, Norfolk, Ralston, Range. A lot of towns do the 5:30. Dennis Woodruff is normally here watching, criticizing the mayor, observing the mayor. There's a basketball game tonight. A lot of times, school programs are Tuesday nights. I've missed program, or I've missed some of my kids' programs to come to city council meeting. Toonie Price had mentioned that years ago, I think Butch Robinson says it's a drawback because you spend another night away from the home and stuff. I'd like to hear what your guys' comments are.
I can speak on this one. Our first and foremost responsibility, I think, in what time we're gonna have the meetings is not our own convenience, but it's what's most accessible to the public. And if someone wants to be able to come down and visit us here at the city council, we always encourage that, and we want to make it as easy as possible for people to do that. Now, that being said, not everybody gets off work at 5 o'clock. Ben, you're gonna be working later than that. A lot of people work out of town. And there's a lot of our citizens that I don't think are gonna be able to make that 5:30 meeting. And I think they should be, our first responsibility is making it convenient for people that aren't the usuals in this room to get here. Now, that being said, on a personal note, it would be difficult for me to be back in town by 5:30 with my new job responsibilities.
We started tonight's meeting at 7 o'clock.
Big difference for me.
I don't see a lot of public here. We are live streaming now.
That's true, and if it was a two-way stream where someone could beep in during open forum,
Yeah.
that would be a little bit different. And you're right, we don't get big crowds. We're lucky if we get anyone, but I want to make sure that opportunity is there for everybody.
Our job is to take care of the public. You guys we are elected to do that, and I don't want to sacrifice for the efforts of you guys, your families. You know, like 7 o'clock, you're gonna miss some things.
I have a kid in school. Ben's got 2 little ones. We do.
That's what I'm thinking of.
And occasionally we do have, like the choir concerts are on a Tuesday night occasionally. Been
Yeah.
known to miss once in a while for that. But I think the more stressful time as a parent, as far as doing the running around and kids' activities and stuff, is that time right after work. That's just my take. When your kids are younger, what works, for your family?
Well, we're very flexible. I mean, in our family, our kids come first, so I mean, if that requires missing work or even possibly a council meeting, then that's how it's gonna be. But, I mean, we're pretty flexible, so, I mean, something like this would be more of I would consider what works better for everybody else, but because I'm pretty flexible.
And that's why Irvine has kids in high school.
I'm sorry.
And they're playing basketball tonight. I'd like to go into the basketball game, but we're here to take care of the city.
I kind of agree with Mary as far as the accessibility for the public to be here. I'm not dead set one way or the other. I'm pretty flexible too as far as, that's the first thing kind of popped into my head is the evening makes it easy if the public does want to come. We have people that need to come, once in a while for liquor licenses or different things, and makes it easier for them. As far as conflicts with family, when I ran for office, that was part of it. I knew that it was a 7 o'clock, well, at that time it was a 7:30 meeting when I first ran.
Yeah.
8 or whatever it was. I know we changed it once already, but I'm good to go with whatever the majority wants, but that's my first thought too, is we're here so the public can speak to us, and like I say, not everybody gets off in time for that, so.
And I encourage people to call the councilman.
Yeah,
You know,
but they
talk
ought to
to
have
them.
the opportunity to come here also.
Yeah, I'm
So,
I'm not,
Well, 5:30's not really set in stone, is it?
what's that?
5:30, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a 5:30 meeting, does it?
and then on the other end of that, that's mealtime for a lot of people in the evenings, 5:30 or 6, for families to sit down together, but,
If we
That's
would
bedtime
start,
for me.
yeah.
if we would start at 5:30, we'd be done a little after 6.
I'm good either way. I'm not gonna, those are just some points I thought needed to be brought up, so.
Troy?
To me, it makes no difference what time we do. I'd go along with whatever the majority wants to, but is it such a thing? We tried it for a little bit. If we loved it and it worked great, hey, we'll stay there. If we didn't like it, we'll move it back to 7.
Or maybe then the public would say something if they didn't, if it turns out, if we get enough people that complain about it, then we could always,
I'd like to try it for a couple weeks and see how it goes. And we're not locked in, but I'd just like to try it. And I encourage the public to get a hold of you guys or me or whoever. give their input. And I think I've talked to most of you guys, if you have a school program, the same night as council meeting, I don't want to see you here. Your family comes first. As long as we have a quorum to take care of city business, I want family comes first. Mary?
One final thought before we pass this around the table. I am very committed to serving in this position, and I take my duties very seriously. I have been known to miss a council meeting here and there. I try to keep it to like one a year. And if I was not able to make these 5:30 meetings, as is possible with my new work schedule, that's not being fair to the people I represent. And I would be hard pressed to continue in the position. If I can't be here at 5:30 to serve our people and serve my constituents, I would have to consider resigning.
Randy?
We're not gonna make everybody happy here. And I think there's a lot of people that would like to come to a 5:30 meeting and not have to wait till 7 o'clock at night and mess up their whole evening. There's several communities on here that have 5:30 meetings. I'm okay with 6. I don't, the time, I just think it needs to be backed up, especially in the summer. People have a lot of things they like to be doing.
I'd be willing to compromise. The later the better, though.
Well, that's what we're here for. And I agree with the mayor that we should try this. That it not be set in stone, but I'd like to try it for, say, 3 months.
See if we have some
Yeah,
conflicts with it or.
yeah, I'd like to give it a try and see what kind of feedback we get and see how it works for them.
I didn't know how it'd affect you guys with your, you know, your farmers or whatever, if that's 5:30's too early for you, or, you know, to come in, or, you know, I know you guys gotta.
How's that work for you, Troy?
You know,
Anymore, you run everything from your smartphone anyway, so.
you know,
It's gonna be this, I mean,
it,
we're gonna be busy in the summer,
they work till
So-
dark anyhow, so.
Yeah,
but we just, you know, if
That
I
day
gotta be
you'll
somewhere
just-
at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, I've gotta be there.
yeah,
And that's just, you know, and Reed's good with that, you know.
okay.
If there's something going on that you need to be there, then be there.
You know, you can go irrigate afterwards.
There you go.
No, because once I'm out of there, I'm done. It'll
You
wait
can
till
do
morning.
it, do it on your phone.
I can.
Why don't we,
It's on here.
try it at 6 to be as convenient for Mary as possible, and if that works out, then great.
Yeah, I'd like.
Larry?
Well, I was just thinking, you know, a lot of times when people come from out of town, you know, they have to kill a lot of time before
Yeah.
they come here at 7 o'clock, and even if they left from Kearney, they wouldn't leave till 6:30 or whatever, and,
Just gets him home later.
huh?
Gets him home later
Yeah.
too.
We've had insurance agents come up here from Kansas, then they're heading home
Kansas
after the
City.
meeting.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing to,
Well, we get him to stay in our motel and give us some more business.
Jason's to be Skyping us instead of making that drive.
It's on here for discussion.
Yeah, it's for discussion.
Or it says consider.
consideration.
No, it just, either way.
It's either way.
With consider.
I wouldn't mind trying it for a while to see how it works.
You wanna try at 5:30 or 6?
I say 6.
6.
You know,
5:30.
works a little better for Mary as far as, does that fit you a little better as far as getting back by 6, or is it still a pinch?
Well, I'm gonna vote no either way. Because I love the 7.
We're gonna have it at 5.
But yeah, 6 would be better.
I think that's compromise for everybody. I think 6 would be good.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Just try it for a while.
Sounds good.
Try it for 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, and if there's issues, we can always adjust.
I won't be here on the 5th. I'll be in Omaha.
Is that a motion to try for 3 months at 6?
Can we vote on this?
You can vote.
Okay. Yes. For 3 months.
I'm not gonna ask Mary for a
I'll
second.
second.
Troy or Bob?
Simpson.
Yeah, let's give it a try.
McDermott.
No. But thank you guys.
Givens.
Yes.
Burbine.
Yes.
Marvin.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Aldridge.
Yes.
Thank you. And we don't have to have a unanimous vote.
Make sure you remind us, Beth.
You can send us a text, Dave.
And remember, I get out in a tie.
You gotta open your packets.
There we go. Now, can we move the planning committee meetings up, planning commission too? They're at 7:30.
Well, I think that should be open for discussion at
Go
planning
for
commission.
it.
They're meeting on Valentine's Day, so.
Yeah.
Board of Adjustments meet at 5, and that's
Yeah.
perfect for me, because I got a handicapped daughter, and this 6 o'clock is just gonna kill me. But
I've always wondered about that with the planning commission, because we meet at 7:30, and sometimes it's a 5-minute meeting, but you're.
and they get here at 7:28.
Yeah.
Maybe you could put that on the agenda for the planning commission meeting to see about that.
They make that decision, don't they?
Yeah, they got it
Right
right
there.
there.
It'd be always, that one's always been kind of a pain to wait until 7:30, and
Hey, you wait half the night waiting for it, and then
then bam, it's done.
it is now time for open discussion. Bob? Dane?
No, thank you.
Troy?
Nothing.
Larry? Ben?
No, nothing.
You sure? You hesitated there.
I'm good.
Come on.
Nope.
Randy?
Gotta go home and mow, so.
Mow.
Growing after those 3 warm days.
I raked my snow.
Into the street.
No. I worked the crust off so I'd get off the yard a little bit. Doug?
Just something, I saw the World Herald had an article the other day about the cost for storing the data from body cameras. Is that getting to be much of an expense for us, or how's that working on our budget?
Well, that's working okay for us.
See, some of them were
We,
dropping it
I saw
because of
the
that.
article too. You know, we have a separate storage upstairs, and we've done that for our in-car cameras, so it's kind of complete and separate from our other system, and so far we've had no problem.
Okay.
I think, you know, the state allows, the state in their infinite wisdom said you have to have a policy for the body cameras, but they don't tell you to do anything for in-car cameras. That doesn't always make sense. And you can erase it after 90 days, provided, you don't have anything. So if you keep up with that, the thing is, it just takes the manpower to have a guy to take time to go up there and do the stuff, which that's what takes time. So that's where a lot of you're seeing dollars. It's not, you do need the equipment,
Just
the
man hours
software
that
and
are-
everything to do it, and the hardware, but you have manpower that takes up a lot of the
I've
time.
seen in that article, it said a lot of smaller departments were really taking a hit on it, so. I
So far, we're-
don't think we'd really discussed it since we've started using the body
And
cameras,
so
so.
far, we're fine, and we haven't had any problems with it. We've only had to use it a few times in court. So far, it's worked okay for us.
Good.
If
That's all I've
not,
got.
I'll ask for more money.
Mary?
Read your legislative bulletins, watch what's going on in your state house. Rod's not here, so I'm gonna say it for him. I'm gonna get this quote wrong, but Rod will always tell you, the state's never in more danger than when those 49 people are meeting up to Lincoln. Watch what they're doing.
For 90 days, too.
You can turn it
Yeah,
on
it's
and watch
long.
Ernie sing.
He was crowing like a chicken today.
And watch the bill concerning the excise tax on alcohol,
Our
because
senator's opposed to it.
I'm so glad to hear that,
On the breweries?
yeah.
One
Well, it was-
34.
Craft beers.
I wrote to him
Our
and
senator? I don't, the mayor.
I wrote to him that, and land bank bill, and he responded, he's opposed to that excise tax also in the brewery, so he's gonna be on our side there.
I'm so glad to hear that. We ought to have him over here some night. I haven't seen him
They're
since
a
he's
little
been
busy.
away. I know they're busy,
I
but
think
maybe when
he's
he
a
gets.
buddy of Groney's though, that makes me a little nervous.
And I
Not
presume,
nice to anybody.
at the league conference, I presume this senator will probably show up for the dinner.
Good. Give him my regards. Good.
Anything else,
That's
Mark?
it. Thank you for listening.
Larry?
How much longer are we gonna have chlorine in water?
I have no idea. Should have asked me today. I could have asked Randy. Oh,
Randy said that he'll be done maybe the end of this week, but it'll be in the system until the end of the month.
Well,
well, we
Leave your
took,
faucet on longer.
we took a hit and we got a letter from the DHSS, and I think we've done everything necessary, to appease Mr. Neighbor, so that's just as Dean said, it's just gonna take some time. But if we get some warmer weather, we do have some dead ends we gotta flush, will help. It's supposed to be 38 and upper 30s next week, I believe I've seen, and so we're gonna start, we got some dead ends that need to be flushed, so that'll help it too.
sometimes it gets pretty strong,
Yeah, it does.
way strong.
Anything else, Larry?
No, that's
Kim?
Nothing, sir.
Chief?
No, other than just make sure you're there on Friday to congratulate Larry.
He is not retired.
And he's not
He's not
retired.
I retired.
50 years in and not calling it quits yet.
Ew.
Can't get rid of him.
It's as long as I've been alive.
You probably want to deal with a little
You didn't hear that, Tony. In your packets, I had Dave put in the Holdridge Housing Authority minutes. I should be sending them to you on a regular basis. I've got them, and I just see that, I apologize for that. As they come in, I'll forward them to Dane and keep them, keep you posted what's going on. Recycling, there's also a sheet. I asked for how much was cardboard, how much recycling that they've done this year. A lot of times I go to the bins, they're full. I suggested they label some of their paper bins or plastic bins, and they're working on it, but just want to keep you informed. Other than that, this meeting is adjourned.